Good to see you. This is a Global News Morning. My name is Bill, and it's time to catch up with our good friend, Matt Lee. It is that time of week, and Matt, we're talking about July real estate stats for
Yes.
Kingston and area. And once you look at all these numbers mathematically and take them apart, what are you finding?
Well, I think that there's a few things that we are going to look at, and we're going to see that trend of, potentially that summer market coming back. Where things are leveling off. You're not seeing things go down, but you're seeing it getting to a point where, there's not these huge spikes happening. But I think that what you'll notice is that there's probably people taking holidays. This is the first time that they've actually been able to kind of go out and do those things in the past 18 months. So I think that we're back into that trend where I think that it's a little bit slower right now. But once that September 5th to 15th hits, we'll be back into that fall market again, which will be back to normal.
So for now, we're looking at the market sort of correcting itself, I think, a little bit.
Yeah, I would call it leveling off a little
Yeah.
bit right now. That's kind of the thing. And if we look at the prices, we'll talk about first of all, where is the pricing happening? Like, where are we seeing the houses kind of land right now in comparison to other years?
Mm.
And then we'll work through and say, okay, what's actually happening this month, and what's happening over the last little while. So if we start with the historic sales versus price range, the green graph is 2019, the blue graph is 2020, and 2021 is purple. So we can see that the green is really high on the lower end, which means that was the price range in 2019. 2020 is the blue, which is kind of that spike in the middle, which is going up into that 500 range. That was the most sold type of property, was the 500 range. And now we're seeing that purple that's kind of really climbing from 500 to 800. So that price range has moved up, which is causing, which one is supply and demand. The other thing is a very low interest rate. So we're seeing both of those cause that pricing to shift a little bit.
And with the graphs, yeah, you really are getting sort of an interesting look at things.
Yeah, in depth, like basically this is what's happening across, and it allows you to see where that median price is, average prices, and we'll get into those. But yeah, when we look at the historic sales price trend, which is kind of, where are we landing for a median price over the last little while? And if you look at it and we say, okay, well, the last few months it was upticking. Basically, if you look from January, July, does it every 6 months, we're getting up to that last little bit, and we've got this spike, and then you've got this kind of leveling off look to it. It'll be interesting to see what happens over the next 6 months with that graph. To see if it's going to continue that way, where we're getting to that spot where that inflation slows down. It spiked, and it's like all of a sudden there was this huge jump. But are we at that price now? It's like we're trying to find that out ourselves, and dig in and get all that information. So,
Well, always an interesting stat is the sale price list price ratio.
yeah. So you see this mark that was basically over the past few years, and it says that it's 96 to 99%, and it was climbing. And then you've got this huge hump that we've talked about for a while. It went up to, I think it was 110%, 108% of the asking price. So you were up over that 100% as an average sale price. But it dips. It goes back down to the 98%. We're looking at this. The rate now, it looks like it's just under the 100%, 98, 99%. So is that doing that because it's a summer market and people are not looking at real estate as much? Probably. I think that you'll see that change a little bit in the fall again, and it'll go back up, and we'll have this wave coming through. But we'll just see what the supply is like.
Days on market, monthly stats. Let's take a look at these numbers.
Yeah, so if you look at the green, and we see that over the years from 2016 on, that number just kept going down, and we really have been talking about that lack of supply since then. That was when it really started. So as it goes down, we see that there was you get to July, there's a spike in the numbers of days on market, which really kind of goes into the trend of what I was talking about, in regards to it's summertime, people are out doing things. maybe things stay on the market a little bit longer than they have in the past, because we got down to 7-8 days. Right now it's showing that it's about days on market, 25 days as the high. Probably has to do with some vacant land thrown in there into that market, because 25 is probably not really the market for residential. It's probably a little bit smaller, in that 15 to 20 range. So, you add the vacant land that stays on the market longer, you're into an average of 25 days. But again, it's coming back down. List price median, what's the average house listing for right now? And it's saying, okay, well, we went up to almost 550,000. That has dipped again, and it's kind of got that curve coming to 525,000. So that's really where the median is kind of in that range.
So these numbers, as you said, a little snapshot of what's happening for summer. These were July stats. I imagine in the fall, these numbers are going to change somewhat.
Yeah, I think actually, to tell you the truth, August is going to be not as busy. I think it's going to be kind of like July. And then once we hit September, October, November, into the first part of December, we will we'll go back up into that busy market again. So.
Always a pleasure to catch up with Matt Lee, but I notice, again, that picture behind you. I love that picture behind you. I'm going to alter it and put in something even better.
Are you going to be on a canoe?
No, you'll see. Matt Lee, thank you so much.
Take care.
Real Estate Tips, brought to you by Matt Lee of Royal LePage.